nothing feels wrong. Your life isn't collapsing. You're not in crisis. You wake up, do what needs to be done, pay the bills, maybe even work on yourself. From the outside, everything looks stable. And that's exactly why this feeling is so difficult to explain. Because nothing is obviously broken, yet something feels quietly hollow. Not painful enough to panic, not loud enough to demand change, just a constant low-level sense that something important is missing. This is one of the most dangerous psychological states a person can be in. Not because it hurts, but because it doesn't. Pain forces action. Discomfort demands attention. But numbness convinces you that everything is fine while something essential slowly erodes. The ancient philosophers warned about this exact condition long before modern psychology gave it names. They didn't describe it as depression or anxiety. They described it as a loss of purpose caused by excess comfort. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes restless when it no longer has a task worthy of it. Not when life is hard, but when life becomes too easy to require courage. Today, we live in the most comfortable period in human history. Food is abundant, safety is high, entertainment is endless, discomfort is optional. And yet rates of emotional numbness, anxiety, and dissatisfaction continue to rise. Modern research supports what the ancients already understood intuitively. Studies on motivation show that humans derive long-term satisfaction not from pleasure, but from effort tied to meaning. When rewards arrive without resistance, motivation collapses. When nothing is required of you, nothing feels earned. We have solved survival, and in doing so, quietly erase the conditions that once made life feel meaningful. You don't hunt. You don't build what you depend on. You don't struggle daily for belonging in a group that needs you to survive. You don't face real consequences for disengaging. And because of that, you don't feel deeply needed. The Stoics believed that meaning does not come from comfort or happiness, but from responsibility. Epictetus taught that a good life is built by willingly choosing what is difficult but necessary. Not because suffering is noble, but because resistance reveals who you are. Without resistance, identity dissolves. This is why nothing feels wrong, yet nothing feels alive. In the ancient world, discomfort wasn't a self-help practice. It was reality: cold, hunger, uncertainty. Physical labor and risk were unavoidable. These pressures shaped character. They forced people to confront fear, discipline desire, and commit to something larger than themselves. The Stoics didn't seek comfort because they understood that comfort weakens the soul when it becomes excessive. Seneca warned that a man who lives only for ease becomes fragile, disturbed by the smallest inconvenience, offended by minor discomforts, and unable to endure pressure. A person like this doesn't suffer greatly, but they also never feel strong. Sound familiar? Today, we've built a world designed to eliminate friction at every level. Boredom is instantly numbed, silence is avoided, effort is optimized away, physical discomfort is framed as a problem to be solved rather than a signal to adapt. Even emotional pain is often treated as something to eliminate immediately, rather than something to understand. You don't feel broken. You feel unnecessary. There's a reason pleasure doesn't satisfy for long. Dopamine spikes without effort train the brain to expect reward without contribution. Over time, this blunts motivation and dulls emotion. Modern neuroscience now confirms what the Stoics believed. Meaning is inseparable from effort. When life stops asking anything of you, you begin to feel invisible to yourself. Halfway through this video, let me say something briefly, not as a pitch, but as an invitation. If this way of thinking resonates with you and you want more ancient answers to modern numbness, you're welcome to subscribe. This channel exists for people who sense that something is off, even when life looks fine. The Stoics had a name for the sickness of excess ease. They believed comfort, when pursued as a goal, slowly erodes character. Their solution was not motivation, affirmations, or endless introspection. It was deliberate resistance, cold exposure, physical discipline, voluntary discomfort, self-restraint, service to something beyond the self. Not to punish themselves, but to remind themselves they were alive. This wasn't self-denial for its own sake. It was training. The Stoics believed the mind should be hardened gently, like steel, through exposure to challenge. They understood that a life without resistance produces a person who feels safe but never solid. Modern psychology now echoes this ancient insight. Studies on resilience show that people who voluntarily take on difficult, meaningful challenges report higher long-term life satisfaction than those who prioritize comfort and pleasure. Meaning, it turns out, is not discovered, it is forged. This is where many people get confused. They assume they need healing, rest, reassurance, or motivation. And sometimes they do. But often, what they really need is friction. Something that pushes back, something that demands effort, something that reminds them they matter because something depends on them. The Stoics believe peace does not come from avoiding hardship, but from becoming strong enough to face it without collapse. True confidence isn't built by repeating positive phrases to yourself. It's built by evidence. Evidence that you can endure difficulty and act with discipline even when it's uncomfortable. This is why endless self-improvement can feel empty. You're optimizing a life that lacks resistance, polishing a cage, consuming wisdom without embodying it. The ancient philosophers were clear on this point. Knowledge without action is just another form of indulgence. You are not broken. You are under-challenged in a world that confuses ease with fulfillment. The solution is not to burn your life down or chase artificial suffering. It's to reintroduce meaningful limits. Choose difficulty where comfort has made you dull. Commit to responsibilities that don't reward you instantly. Do things that leave you tired in a way that feels earned. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Nothing feels wrong because nothing is demanding enough to wake you up. And until resistance returns to your life, everything may look fine. But something essential will continue to fade. If this unsettled you, that's a good sign. It means the part of you that wants more than comfort is still alive. And that is where meaning begins.